You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Mark Farzetta. I have showed up for work today to break down the 76ers, unlike Paul George, who did not show up today. And really hasn't shown up all season for the 76ers, so that's fun. But anyway, welcome into Locked On 76ers Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Yours truly will be breaking down the 76ers for the remainder of the season. Congratulations, by the way. They're off for 8 days, so we don't have to see them for over a week now, so that's lovely. So, yep, I'll be with you the rest of the way with the Sixers. And then the Phillies, who actually had a workout in Clearwater today. So we'll be there for you when it comes time for Locked On Phillies postcasts. I look forward to doing that with you. This was horrendous. The Bulls, as we talked about last night, are in full-blown tank mode. They have a back-to-back with the Pistons, and they're kind of, I'll use the term, Paul Georging it. They're not even showing up. So they could have picked up some time here. Could have picked up some game. Could have picked up a game or two in the last 2 games with the Bulls, and maybe even been in that final play-in tournament spot right now. But instead, you relinquish this game tonight to the Brooklyn Nets, who are nipping at your heels, despite Ben Simmons demanding a buyout and going to the Clippers. If that's even a detriment, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say it's not. But tonight was embarrassing if you're Paul George. If you're Kelly Oubre, if you're Quentin Grimes, tonight was awesome. Oh my goodness, was it on 30 points each for Oubre and Grimes? Grimes leading the charge at the end of the game to try to make something of this, down 10 points with about 47 seconds left in the game. Then all of a sudden, Grimes goes on a personal 6-0 run. Oh my, what? Yeah, that happened. And then it was all for nothing, unfortunately. But it was just another one of those games, just like it was last night, where the Sixers looked like they were on the second game of back-to-back. Unfortunately, tonight was the game that they were playing the second game of a back-to-back. But last night they played with no energy, and tonight they just, again, failed to come up with put-away runs. They failed to come up with put-away baskets. And they failed to ever take control of the game. And we'll go through it all. It was close throughout the game up until the last 3 minutes, where the Brooklyn Nets started to pull away and build up that 10-point lead. I believe they led by as much as 13 tonight. And the Sixers, up until the last 46 seconds of the game, really lacked the ability to show that they could take control at any moment. And they had the Nets on their heels in the final 47 seconds, but that was about it. So let's break it all down. Once again, welcome into Locked On 76ers Postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Also, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing Locked On 76ers Daily Newsletter, the one-stop shop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On 76ers newsletter. This particular episode brought to you by Wayfair. Take advantage of all they have to offer at Wayfair.com. 3 big things. Number 1, Paul George. How horribly disappointing has this signing been? Now, in the grand scheme of things, how horribly disappointing has this season been in general? You're talking about now a 20-34 76ers team at the break. Not the midway point, but at the All-Star break. 20-34. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Tyrese Maxey have played in 13 games together. Going into this game tonight, with the lineup set, this was the 33rd lineup that Nick Nurse has put together. A lot of that has to do with not having healthy players. That is pathetic. But the guy that has been around more often than not, I mean, Maxey had an injury. He missed, 2 weeks? He certainly missed time. Maxey missed 8 games in total. Paul George has missed 19 games. That's great. Joel Embiid has missed 37 games to this point on the season. So to say that this season has been disappointing, it certainly comes to injury. But even when you have had Tyrese Maxey, even when you have had Paul George like tonight, like Paul George even has like a decent night tonight, and the Sixers beat the Nets. The Sixers end their losing streak at 4 as opposed to letting it grow to 5. But tonight, Paul George shoots 1 for 7 from the floor, goes 0 for 5 from beyond the arc, finishes with 2 points on the evening. 2 points. And I don't care about the rebounds in a game like this. 6 boards ain't nothing. 6 boards is nothing. 4 assists is nothing. 2 steals is nothing. 3 blocks, nothing. 3 turnovers, whatever. 2 points for Paul George. He did not score at all in the first half. Just like Tyrese Maxey last night, Paul George waited for the third quarter to get his first points of the night. This is inexcusable. I would love to just think that something's wrong, but he looks like he has aged 10 years since coming over here from the Clippers. I don't know if it's the knee injury. I don't know if it's the re-aggravated knee injury. I don't know if it's the pinky. But whatever it is, it ain't working. And I look at this team in a lot of instances. I'm like, wow, you guys could have played a lot better, judge how you played that last minute of the game. Where's the motivation, Nick Nurse? We talked about this in last night's game. Last night's loss to the Raptors, where, again, I'll reiterate, you failed to get the put-away run. You failed to get the put-away jump shot. You failed to get the put-away 3. You failed to take control of the game. And you're left scrambling until the end. Same thing tonight. And for the majority of this game, the Sixers just look like a team, with the exception of Kelly Oubre, with the exception of Quentin Grimes, and Justin Edwards, too. He was hustling out there. With the exception of those 3 guys, the Sixers just look like a team that couldn't wait to be off for the next 8 days. Actually, 7 days, really, before they host the Boston Celtics on the 20th. So that'll be fun. What a nice little welcome back party that'll be in South Philly. Hopefully South Philly doesn't sound like Boston. But Paul George tonight, even if he has just a 15-point game, a 20-point, I'm not looking for him to drop 40 out of nowhere. If he hits a couple clutch threes down the stretch, this is a totally different game. It actually takes pressure off Kelly Oubre. It takes pressure off Quentin. Quentin Grimes wasn't even a 6 or 3 games ago. And now we're talking 4 games ago. And I'm talking about him like he's supposed to be some savior. I'm talking about him like he's supposed to be Paul George. What are we doing? Whatever's wrong with him, get it right. I would really love to imagine that he hasn't aged a decade in his time here in Philadelphia already. I would like to think he's somewhat healthy. If you're struggling for confidence in the Sixers team, I get it. But if they were waiting for after the All-Star break to put the pedal to the metal, tonight would have been a nice night to at least get a little warm and fuzzy. It would have been nice to get a little bit of, a nice warm blanket before you go into the All-Star break. But, oh, look, they can play a little bit. All right, fine. Even if it was, again, without Joel Embiid, even if it was without Tyrese Maxey, who's got a left knee contusion, I believe it is. Hopefully that was his problem last night, only coming up with 5 points. But, man, Paul George struggling in the way that he did tonight, and Paul George struggling the way that he has all season for the Sixers, is just no excuse. No excuse. Averaging on the season 16.6 points per game on the year. Getting through a month of January where I actually thought maybe you got something cooking here for him. Through the month of January, he actually averaged 20 points per game, which is good. Averaged just under 6 rebounds per game, almost 5 assists per game. All right, that's a nice little month to put together, but unfortunately suffered that little pinky injury. And then he comes out so far in the month of February, through now 5 games in the month of February, you're talking about not being able to score over 15 points in any of those games for a grand, beautiful total of 12.3 points per game. That is atrocious. And this was supposed to be the answers to our prayers when it came to the 76ers. If you have seen Paul George, please let us know. We'd love to know where he is. I feel like, what was it? The T-1000? What was in Terminator 2? Have you seen this boy? Have you seen this basketball player? Have you seen Paul George? I heard he's with the Sixers. That's my Paul George rant. That's number 1. Number 2. Kelly Oubre, not so bad. I actually saw somebody, I think it was Keith Pompey, that does Locked On 76ers daily podcast with Kayla Santiago. And Keith, of course, also writes locally with Inquirer.com. Somebody said, what's the deal with Kelly Oubre? Why is he even on this team? And I was like, is that a real complaint? Are people actually upset with Kelly Oubre? He's kind of low on the pecking order. Kelly Oubre gives you exactly what you think Kelly Oubre should give you. He's not going to be the savior, although he dropped 30 points tonight. Like, Kelly Oubre ain't my problem. Kelly Oubre, I know what I'm getting. Kelly Oubre, I know when everybody's healthy, in the rare occasion, again, 13 games so far where everyone's been healthy. But Kelly Oubre goes out there and he'll get 10 points. He'll get 15 points. He'll get 10 rebounds. And he'll pick his spots to score those points, but it looks like everybody else is starting to lag a little bit. That's what I love about Kelly. He's an energy guy. He's a decent ball player. He's a good ball player. People are focusing on him? No. And I thought tonight was a perfect timing thing for him. Kelly Oubre goes out tonight. Like I said, he gave you 30 points tonight. Did not do much on the rebounding aspect of it. Got you 2 steals. Only turned the basketball over once. But that's a nice day there for Kelly Oubre. That's a great night for Kelly Oubre to get you those 30 points. And I'm gonna put him right in the same category here at number 2. 2A, I'll call it. 2B, if you will. Quentin Grimes, my man, pots and pans. 36 minutes tonight, gave you 30 points on 10 of 18 shooting. Oubre, by the way, 10 of 16 shooting. The two of them combined for 6 made threes. That's 6 of the Sixers' 8 threes that they made on the night. 24% from beyond the arc. Good Lord. Grimes, by the way, also gave you 9 rebounds, 7 on the defensive side, 2 on the offensive side, had 4 assists to go along with it. The man almost came up with a double-double for you, for crying out loud. This is terrible. I'm begging for Kelly Oubre and Quentin Grimes to lead the way for the 76ers. And Quentin Grimes also ties in beautifully to number 3. With the way this game was going, I wasn't expecting the Sixers to do anything. So I was already down in the dumps. I was already focusing on Paul George. It's funny. I think the first thumbnail I put up on the YouTube show, was, Paul George leads the Sixers into Brooklyn. And that was before the game started, And then the game's going on. I'm like, I should probably change that thumbnail because he ain't leading anything, Beb. So I changed the thumbnail. And the thumbnail then says, have you seen this man? Okay. And then I changed it to say that Sixers, lose, too little, too late. Sixers lose. And I was like, no, you know what's better? Have you seen this man? Where's Paul George? But the too little, too late would still apply simply because with 46 seconds left in the game, this is wild. 43 seconds, excuse me. Nick Claxton there for the Nets hits a 3. Puts the Nets up 100-90 with 43 seconds remaining. Sixers get a turnover. They go down the other end. Grimes with 37 seconds left in the game. He gets a layup, makes it 100-92. Then they get called for a travel. The Nets get called for a travel. It goes the other way. 25 seconds left. Grimes gets another layup. It's 100-94. You're thinking, oh, my goodness gracious, could something happen? 20 seconds left. Oh, my goodness. Justin Edwards comes up with a steal. Goes back into the hands of Grimes. He gets a layup again. 100-96. Then D'Angelo Russell elbows Kelly Oubre in the face. He goes down like a sack of potatoes. Sixers get the ball, and they couldn't do anything with it. That was it. That's when the luck ran out. Grimes ended up missing the 3. Edwards missed the 3, and that was it for the Sixers' luck, unfortunately. But they closed the game out on a miracle, what felt like a miracle 6-0 run. There was one point in the game, though, where Grimes goes to the line with 2:54 remaining in the game. He shoots 3 flagrant foul shots. Makes only one of them. It was 94-85. He makes it 94-86. You think, maybe, just maybe, he hits all 3 of them. You got a different outcome. Maybe that starts the momentum going in the right way. But the way it boiled down was in the final 2 minutes and 52 seconds of the game, Quentin Grimes drops in 9 points in less than 3 minutes. That's a guy at least waiting for his moment. And I'll say this, it wasn't like he was overly patient tonight by any means. He went out there and he gave you a lot. So Kelly Oubre, Quentin Grimes, 2A and 2B on my list. And then number 3, it was a nice way to at least see them finish the game with a little bit of life. Too little, too late, certainly. But then it makes me go back to number 1. You get anything from Paul George tonight, and it's a different game. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the highs and lows of the unofficial first half, or I'll just say this, the pre-All-Star break portion of the season. We'll talk about that and more. We'll talk about what the expectations should be for the second half of the season. That's when we return to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, Locked On 76ers Postcast. Wayfair. Told you guys love Wayfair. After the holiday hustle, there's nothing like giving your home a little TLC. You know what I'm saying? I always find that decluttering the house and refreshing the house and making your space, having that little less clutter is great for every daily routine. Some people, they like to set the Alexa there for, a 10-minute cleaning session. Everyone in the house cleans. I'd love to start that in my family. But Wayfair helps you declutter the house and organize things with all the great home storage things that you could buy. I told you guys about the shoe rack I put together from Wayfair. Easy peasy, no problem. Currently looking for furniture for a huge space in your house, or maybe the little space you want to fill with maybe a little piece of furniture. Wayfair is the place to find those pieces that fit your style and fit your budget. My favorite part, the free and hassle-free delivery. Even for larger items. Wayfair's site has so easy to navigate, and I found everything I needed in no time at all. More importantly, my wife found everything she needed in no time at all. There's something for every style, for every home, no matter your space, no matter your budget. Wayfair makes it easy to tackle your New Year's home goals. New year, new home, at least new style in your home, maybe, with endless inspiration for every space. What is your decor style? What do you like? Wayfair is something for you. Did Wayfair help you at any point in a crunch? Maybe you needed to prepare for the holidays. Maybe something for Valentine's Day. Wayfair's got you covered. So give your home the refresh it needs with Wayfair. Head to wayfair.com right now. That's wayfair.com. WAYFAIR.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Look, there's a lot of blame I think you could put on Nick Nurse, and we've talked about that to this point. I haven't focused a lot on Nick Nurse. There are certainly things that he deserves blame for. A motivating factor against the Toronto Raptors, nothing there, unfortunately, for Nick Nurse. No response from his team. There's been a couple of team meetings. There's been a couple of shouting matches. But all the while, the team just ain't performing. A lot of that does come down to the head coach, but I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt that if you actually had somewhat of a healthy Joel Embiid, if you actually had Paul George and Tyrese Maxey playing together throughout this season and not having all three of these guys together for less than 15 games on the year, it would be a little bit of a different story. If you're looking for optimism for the rest of this season with your 10-9-8 76ers, the only optimism lies in the idea that this is what they've been waiting for. They've been waiting to get into late February, early March. And I know this is hard to believe for a lot of people. And I'm checking the score right now. The Bulls took the L tonight on their back-to-back with the Detroit Pistons. They lost good God, their last two nights have been terrible. 128-110 was the final in that game. So now with the standings being what they are, looking at the play-in tournament, the Nets draw even with the Sixers now. Both are 20-34. Both are 2 full games behind the Chicago Bulls, who are only going to get worse as the season goes on. I'm going to go ahead and I think safely assume that the Sixers are going to be better than a 20-34 type team in the post All-Star break portion of the season. My thought has been that the Sixers have been cautious up until now. As cautious as possible with injuries to Paul George, as cautious as possible when it comes to Tyrese Maxey and managing his workload, as cautious as possible when it's come to Joel Embiid. If the Sixers don't come out of the gates firing in the post All-Star break, the first 2 weeks, then it's a wrap. Then you just shut down Joel Embiid. But you're starting things out in the post All-Star break season, only 2 games out of the play-in tournament. And all that matters is getting to that play-in tournament. I've heard people talk about, they got to get to 500. No, they don't. They do not have to do that. They have to get to the play-in tournament. And then it's a whole new season that starts up. Win 2 games. That's all you got to do. And then you get, the 8th seed, 7th seed, whatever. And then you keep playing after that. Will they beat the Cavs? Yeah, probably not. Will they beat the Celtics? Yeah, probably not. But here's what I know. I don't want the season to end with the Sixers not having any form of postseason. I don't want to go in tank mode. I don't want to pack it in. I want the Sixers to actually give you some sign of life. And I doubt that when you're looking at the rest of this season and you're looking at fulfilling the 82 games, what's left of it, you're looking at a team that has struggled to put anything together with any form of consistency. But for me, I don't start to panic. I don't start to really count them out of any postseason until what they show me in the 2 weeks after the All-Star break. And to look at the schedule right now with the Sixers coming out of the All-Star break, I told you already, coming out of the gates, they come out of the gates quick against the Boston Celtics. Then they got the Nets again, so they can help themselves bounce back from this disappointing loss. And then they got the Chicago Bulls. Then they got the Knicks. Then they got Golden State. They got Portland. They got Minnesota. They got Boston again. They got Utah. All this is the first 2 weeks out. Show me something in this stretch. Show me something, please, to give me hope. 2 games seems like a lot right now, but that's all they are. 2 games out of postseason play. Do you even want them to make it? I mean, I asked you guys this question maybe a month and a half ago. Like, do you even care? With as well as the Eagles were playing, with the idea that Joel Embiid will never be 100%, maybe ever again, do you even care? For me, I think we've invested too much as a fan base in the 76ers to just say, pack it in, blow it up. No, the Sixers, unfortunately, they're not trading Joel Embiid. I mentioned yesterday the Brian Windhorst quote of saying that Joel Embiid right now is just untradeable. The money that he's been signed to, the extension that he got. Part of me actually really admires the Dallas Mavericks. Because the Dallas Mavericks looked at Luka Doncic, and whether or not you agree, whether or not you think it's BS, whatever, the stuff that's out there is, no, we haven't been impressed enough with Luka Doncic to sign him to a max contract extension. The Sixers, on the other hand, with Ben Simmons back in the day, nobody was impressed with Ben Simmons' improvement, yet they still gave him the max rookie extension. Nobody's been impressed with what Joel Embiid has done over this season and last season. But at the end of last season, for as much of a fighter as he was, the Sixers still said, no. We still need to go with the contract extension here. I don't agree with it. I didn't agree with it. I still don't agree with it. But the Sixers, as I told you last night, they're in a mode right now where all they want to do is squeeze every morsel out of Joel Embiid. They're going to live and die by Joel Embiid. And then cross their fingers that Tyrese Maxey develops into an MVP caliber player. Jared McCain gets healthy and turns into that, proverbial Robin to Batman. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're crossing fingers for. And then, I don't know, Dembona can turn into a decent backup center. That's what they're crossing their fingers for. Like I said last night, I'm rooting for it. I ain't betting on it. When we come back, we're going to take your comments coming up here in a second and also talk about what to look at in the post-All-Star break era of this season, if you even want to call it that. I did mention this before the break. I failed to mention this. Speaking of a Dembona, the power's there. The finesse has to come with the power. He's a rookie. He's a second-round pick out of UCLA. Like, he'll develop. I really liked what I saw from him, little flashes here and there of the athletic center he could be if he could just find a way to harness that power to become a little bit more of a finesse player when needed. Still bring that power, still get me rebounds, still block some shots. Had a great block tonight that I believe was converted into a Quentin Grimes corner 3. I think that went to Grimes after the block from a Dembona. But let me see a little bit more of that. Quentin Grimes, obviously a bright spot. And in the second half of the season, or at least in the first half of the season, the pre-All-Star break, you can't be worse than 14 games under 500, right? That's something. Gershon Yabusele, look forward to seeing what he can do for the Sixers for the rest of this season. Tonight, what did he do tonight overall? It wasn't great. Yeah, 5 points tonight, 2 of 5 from the floor. Just 21 minutes played. That's the other thing tonight. 30 points for Grimes, 30 points for Oubre. 13 was your next highest scorer. And that was Justin Edwards off the bench. That's another good story from the season. When I say another good, I mean nice to have. Certainly not a franchise-altering move by any means. All right, when we come back, we'll take your comments on the Sixers team and talk about what's ahead. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Open phone. This is such a great idea, and this company has executed it so well. Running a small business, you know what that means? That means you're wearing a lot of hats. Your personal phone, you know what that becomes? It becomes your business phone. And before you know it, you're juggling customer calls day and night. As your team grows, it becomes impossible to manage everything with just your personal number. That's where Open Phone comes in. It's the number one business phone system designed to help you keep your work and personal life separate. For just $15 a month, the cost of a few cups of coffee, for instance, you get complete transparency and visibility into everything happening with your business phone number. Open Phone works through an app on your phone or computer and integrates with tools like HubSpot as well as hundreds of others. It also uses AI-powered call transcripts and summaries, so you'll have a rundown of your calls and action items the second you hang up. If you miss a call, no problem. Automated messages are sent directly to your customer, ensuring you never miss an opportunity to engage with a customer or a prospective customer. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/lockedonnba. That's openphone.com/lockedonnba. openphone.com/lockedonnba for 20% off for 6 months. That's openphone.com/lockedonnba. If you have an existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. That's openphone.com/lockedonnba. Let's get into it when it comes to checking in the chat here for your 10-9-8 76ers who are off until the 20th against the Boston Celtics. Brad P., what's going on? I was one of the last holdouts. Tonight was the first night I rooted for them to lose so they could take the number 6 lottery spot from Brooklyn. Fair enough. Hey, look, I don't blame you. In all honesty, I could go, I'm not a fence guy. I never sit on the fence. But I understand. I don't think I've ever understood the other side of an argument that I'm not a part of more so than this Sixers argument. Like, I totally understand that people are just like, blow it up right now, start over. I get it. I get that. I'm not quite there yet, but I absolutely understand. When I say I'm not on the fence, I'm like 52% push through, 48% blow it up. So I ain't far off from you there, Brad. Ari Stein, what's up, Ari? Still flying high. There are other sports going on. Go Birds. Yeah, there's a parade. Brandon Kelly, what's going on? Go Birds. Let's get ready for the Phillies. All right, fair enough. Brad P., it's already a wrap. There you go. Like, I get it. I see where these guys are at on that. 14 games under 500 at the All-Star break. This team sucks. Like, what do you... Like, could they be better? Yeah. But even if Joel Embiid comes back and lights the world on fire for 10 points, or 10 points, geez. Yeah. Joel Embiid is on fire for like 10 games. I'm still going to be worried about the next injury because it's always something. Oh, Brad. Okay. To clarify, Brad saying, I'm not saying blowing up. We can't trade Embiid, but let him get extended rest and protect that pick. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Again, I don't think you can blow it up. And I think Wendy had the great, it's a perfect word for it. Untradeable. Once again, Philadelphia, congratulations on the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Congratulations that we get a parade on Friday. I'm going down. Can't wait for it. And then on top of it all, congratulations. The pitchers and catchers have reported. And congratulations that we don't have to watch the Sixers for over a week. I'll miss you. I will miss you, Philadelphia. But I'll be back on the 20th after the Sixers start out the final stretch of the season when they take on the Boston Celtics in South Philly. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's like and subscribe on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Thanks, everybody. Be back with you guys on the 20th. Yeah, right out of that. That'll be a good time. All right. See you then. Bye.